Having a reliable, legal workforce is important in any business, but it's especially true in agriculture when a farmer may only have a small window to plant or harvest his crop that will make or break his business for the entire year. Think summer and Georgia peaches might come to mind, but while peaches are ripe on the trees, there may not be enough workers to pick them.
We just don't have that seasonal skilled workforce that's willing to get out in a hot orchard and work all day.
So farmers import their labor, relying heavily on a program called H-2A. The government grants foreign nationals short-term visas to help harvest crops. But demand for those workers is growing, and farmers in 22 states complain the government can't keep up.
That is a serious thing in farmland across America. If you have a crop ready to harvest and your harvest window is narrow and your workers show up late, you're going to lose your crop.
It could cost us our farm in one season.
And farmers across the country who grow a wide variety of fruits and vegetables, not just peaches, are telling Duval that navigating H-2A is already costing them plenty. Too much red tape, too much paperwork, too many delays.
For us to, in rural America, not be able to bring workers here to harvest our crops is just really ridiculous.
I have sons that want to come back to the business, and I'm not sure there's a place for them right now because we can't grow anymore. I mean, we're being stifled. We're being held back.
Georgia farmers are not alone in their concerns for having a viable guest worker program for planting and harvesting their crops. Calhoun County is known as the sweet potato capital of the world, but this delicacy could not be grown without an immigrant workforce. Local workers simply won't take these jobs because of the long hours in tough conditions. There's only a limited amount of time that farmers have to get the potatoes out of the field and into the processing sheds. Filling these jobs with H-2A workers is the only way that this industry can continue. Jeremy Jack is a row crop farmer in the Mississippi Delta. He says the H-2A program is vital to his family farming operation.
The H-2A program allows us to get workers to get our crops in the fields and out of the fields and irrigated. Without the H-2A guys, we would be burdensome without a labor force to get the job done. We work a lot of long days, long weeks back to back, and just the local labor force is not available for us.
Eubanks Produce in southeast Mississippi has been in business since 1992. They grow 2,500 acres of vegetables that must be hand harvested.
We do advertise for local labor, so we're advertising for 300 workers to come to our farm. We have a very small number that actually do apply for local labor, and a lot of them don't like this type of work, and they do not stay here long term when they do try to work here.
So immigrant labor fills the gap.
Yes, so workers, especially here on our farm, a lot of our workers return each year. So we have a high retention value, so we feel like they are happy working here on our farm. They come back every year. They do have to leave their families at home, but they return during our off season back to Mexico where they're from. So because they return here every year, they're trained on our farm, how we like to harvest our vegetables and how we like to care for our produce as it's growing.
Without immigrant labor, the Eubanks' entire operation would be in trouble.
We would be out of business very soon because it's a perishable product and it has to be harvested at its peak when it's ready. We don't have any other options. We would have to try to find local work, but it wouldn't be possible to find that many locally.
Bill Rivers has run these 60 greenhouses known as Rivers Plant Farm since 1975.
We run a business where we sell today and ship tomorrow. So it's no time for anything. I mean, the job's got to be done. We have over 200 customers in Mississippi and Louisiana that rely on us to deliver products to them on a weekly basis in season. And like I said, you know, we make a living a few months out of the year, and it's no time to play. We pre-book all the plants that right now we're pre-booking every plant that we're going to plant in the fall, in the springtime. And we're counting on these H-2A workers to be here January the 15th. If they're not, we have thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars at stake. And actually, you know, our livelihood's at stake. Everything that we put into this place for my family has for 40 years is at stake. And, you know, we rely on a reliable workforce. We try to spend the money. It's not cheap to go through the procedures to bring in a legal workforce here. and you know, it's a lot at stake.
Recently, Mississippi Farm Bureau held a press conference to raise awareness of the issue of sensible immigration.
This is a national, bipartisan effort. My national organization, American Farm Bureau, along with our other states, are taking part in these across the United States today to get the message out that we as Americans all have the need to eat. And the process that we're going through with our H-2A workers, our guest worker programs, are causing troubles for our American farmers and our farmers here in Mississippi. The system is broken, and this past spring we went all over the state of Mississippi and talked to our farmers that are using these programs and heard horror stories about their crops rotting in the fields and not being able to get the labor force that they need to get their crops to market. We feel like we have two choices. We have to import our labor, or we'll have to import our food. And the people here in the United States, I do believe, will want our American farmers to produce their food here in the United States. The number of American farmers in the United States has decreased by over 20% in the last 10 years. It's simply impossible for us to work a system without having a guest worker program. Agriculture needs a streamlined, flexible guest worker program that will bring more opportunities for the workers and the farmers. And Mississippi Farm Bureau and farm bureaus across the nation have joined with this effort to ask to have a seat at the table, no matter who is in charge of Congress, to ask that we take part in these conversations to enact a sensible immigration reform.
Agriculture has a lot at stake in this national conversation about immigration reform because farmers must have a viable guest worker program that meets the needs of this industry.